Hey everyone, it's Simone Watson, and I am here to do a library haul. And to me, this feels like a very special library haul. So, yeah, I'll tell you why I'm so excited about it. So, I told you guys that I was about to do the reading quest. I think I told you that on Monday, or that I was starting the reading quest, where you have different challenges to read. And I might have mentioned that I was still feeling saddened by the events in Charlottesville over the weekend, and I am still feeling saddened by that, but better. Um, and so I thought that for the reading quest, I thought I kind of wanted to read something light and fun, and so on Monday I started reading "We Own the Night" by Ashley Poston, which is an interesting book. But by Monday evening, I was feeling like, man, this is not what I want to read. I don't want light and fun right now. Like, I want really books of like basically three categories. Number one, books by authors of color, because I want to support authors of color. Like, I just that's something that I want to do, and I feel like I want the perspective of someone that is a person of color in the U.S. Or just a person of color in general, but especially person of color in the U.S. So, like, one, books by authors of color. Two, books that confront social justice or like race relations or different topics like that. Um, doesn't even have to be specifically like, oh, look, race relations, but just they have to do with race in some way. Or number three, books that are just kind of darker than the your average book. Books that just kind of have a dark tone, because I just think that might kind of help with my sadness. So, um, most of the books I got from the library, I went to the library yesterday. Most of the books fall into at least one of those three categories. And yeah, I just think, I don't know, I think that this is going to be cathartic for me, this reading experience, and I'm just really excited. So, the first book I'm going to show you is one that I did mention in my TBR. Some of these I did mention in my TBR, and some of them I decided on later. Um, but this is Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. Um, this author, Tiffany D. Jackson, she's a black woman. So, author of color, ding. This also is one that I think does confront issues of race and, race relations, privilege, different things like that. It is about a teenage black girl who was accused of a crime when she was 9. She was accused of murder, and she was in like what she calls baby jail. It's like different from juvie. I'm not fully certain what it is, but I think it had to do with a lot of like being by herself, like solitary confinement type stuff. And so now she's in a group home. And so this is really good so far. I started it. I'm on page like 63, I think. 60, yeah, 62, 63. It's fantastic so far. I got one book that I can't show you right now because I got it, but I passed it off to my brother for the time being. But that is Lola. I mentioned that in my TBR as well, about a woman who, I think it's about a woman who is a gang leader. She leads the gang, but most people think that it's her boyfriend who leads the gang. So they start like looking for her boyfriend. The police are looking for him. That's like what they're supposed to think, but it's like actually her. She's like the secret mastermind behind the scenes. So I have lent that to my brother for the time being. Yeah. This one, okay, this is called Gunslinger Girl. Sorry. Gunslinger Girl. There's a bookmark in it, but that's just so I would have. Well, it's a piece of paper. I'm using it as a bookmark, but I haven't even started reading it. I just put this somewhere, so I'll have it when I need it. So I have the bookmark when I need it. Anyway, this one I picked out really near the end. Oh, there's my receipt. I picked it out really near the end of the trip to the library. It is, you read it like not the way we would read. You read it like from right to left, I think, like that, because it's manga, and I've never read manga before. So I think I was thinking that this might be a tome, and if I can finish it by Thursday, I could count it towards Tome Topple readathon, and then I can put it on the Reading Quest readathon as a graphic novel or something. I don't know. So we'll see, maybe. I'm not fully certain what it's about. Something to do with gunslinging. But yes, this has the same name as a book I'm looking forward to, a novel I'm looking forward to from 2018, Gunslinger Girl by Lindsay Ely, which will be out in January or February or something like that. But anyway, yeah, so there are just a few reasons why this interested me. Not for the reasons that I have listed already, but just not for the reasons that I got most of these books, but this is just kind of like, oh, look, a graphic novel. Let me like hurry up and pick it up kind of thing. Next we have this, Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. Again, this is not in one of the three categories I talked about earlier, but this is one that I talked about on my TBR before. It's got a one-word title, so I might count it as my one-word title book. Or I might wait until I'm done with all of since there are 4 different characters for the reading quest, I might wait until I'm done with all of the challenges for the rogue, which is my character, and then move on to a different character who has a challenge of read the first book in a series. And for that, I could read this. But in order to count it there, I would have to wait until I'm done with all my rogue books. So we'll see. Next, I have The Boy in the Black Suit by Jason Reynolds. This is another one that I mentioned in my TBR. This is also by an author of color. Yeah. Jason Reynolds, I don't know if I've mentioned this to you guys. I also got this book by Jason Reynolds and Brendan Keeley, All American Boys, which is one that really has to do with race relations in the U.S., and I'm so excited about this one. But Jason Reynolds is an author who I've just, like, wanted to read in the past, like, couple of weeks. I've just been like, man, I really want to read something by Jason Reynolds. He has a new book out, Miles Morales. I think that's what the book is called. It's about Miles Morales, who's, like, one of the Can you say Spider-Man? Is that the way to express that? I don't know. He is Spider-Man when Spider-Man is not Peter Parker, basically. So this is kind of a new thing, newish, maybe not new, but authors are being asked to do novelizations of different comic book superhero. Comic book superhero? You know what I'm saying? They're doing novelizations of superheroes. You know, there's on the Penguin side of things, you have Wonder Woman that is about to come out, and you have like Batman and Superman and one more. Yeah. So anyway, this, I think it might be like that. It might be that the company went and approached Jason Reynolds with this topic, but I read a little bit of his book, When I Was the Greatest, that I plan to read more of. The point is, he is an author that I feel like I can connect with his writing so far from what I've seen, and I really want to read more by him. So I'm excited to pick up this book. This, I think, will be my obscured face book, though my book with an obscured face, even though allegedly also has the girl's face obscured on the thing, on the cover. Yeah, but I may count that as my one-word title book on the list of challenges. We'll see. But yes, this one I talked about a little bit, All American Boys. It has to do with police brutality, and I believe it has to do with the Black Lives Matter movement. And there's like a black teenager being beat up by a white police officer, and then something to do with the witnesses or something. I'm not sure, but it sounds really, really interesting. And this is becoming a tall stack, the ones that I've already showed. So the ones I've already shown. So, don't know what to do with that, but I will go on. So this one is Forgive Me, Leonard Peacock by Matthew Quick. I saw this and remembered that I was interested in it recently, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll just pick it up now. This is going in the category of books that are maybe not about social justice, but they are confronting a dark issue head on. I don't know if I said this when I said like, oh, I want the books to be dark. It's partly about being dark, but it's also partly about making me feel something. I just want to feel something when I'm reading. You know what I mean? Like, I want to feel strong emotions. And this is one that I think I will feel strong emotions about. From what I've heard, it's about a guy that is planning to, trigger warning here. I'm going to put my hand up until the trigger warning is over. It's about a teenager who's planning to commit suicide. And so he goes around talking to people on like his last day to say goodbye to them, and not like literally say goodbye, like with the word goodbye, because he doesn't want them to know, I guess. But I don't know, like I'm wondering what's gonna happen in the end, and if maybe he'll change his mind or like what's gonna happen. But I do feel like I'm gonna feel some feelings when I read this. So I'm gonna take my hand down now. It's going to be the end of the trigger warning. Okay, so here we have Angry Young Man by Chris Lynch. This is a really difficult cover to like see. Seems kind of dark. Angry Young Man by Chris Lynch. I the main reason I picked this up, I was on the fence and decided for it because it was a short book. But the main reason it caught my interest in the first place is because it was written by Chris Lynch. Chris Lynch. Okay? Chris Lynch wrote a book that I read last September or October. I don't know. He wrote a book called Inexcusable. It was a National Book Award finalist. I'm going to give you a trigger warning again. Hold up my hand. Trigger warning. Inexcusable is about rape. And it is from the perspective of the rapist. Which I know is like a concept that a lot of people are going to be like, heck no. But I feel it's an important book because this character is somebody that really... He is really hard to explain. He honestly doesn't know, like, from the start of the book. He's arguing with his friend, and she's like, you raped me, and he's like, I didn't. And he doesn't actually understand that he has raped her. And it's important because something that I didn't think about much until I went to college is that consent sometimes can be blurry, and that shouldn't be the case. Consent should not be blurry. Okay, people should, if they're gonna have sex, should be clear on the consent and not assume different things and not think, oh, well, you looked at me in a certain way or you acted a certain way or you this and this and this and therefore consent. So it deals with the issue of blurry consent. And so that main character was somebody that really had a hard time. He was kind of immature. He had a hard time taking responsibility for his actions, but he misunderstood certain things as consent that weren't actually consent. So this could be an important novel on the issue of how to get consent and different things like that, because it's something that should be discussed. So I'm going to take my hand down now. That's the end of the trigger warning, but all that to say that Inexcusable gutted me emotionally so much. I don't even know how to describe it. Just like, yeah, it just gutted me emotionally, that so much that I went and read about Chris Lynch, found out he's a professor at an MFA program, and thought, man, I really need to like, after I finish my bachelor's degree, I need to like totally apply to this MFA program just so I can have Chris Lynch as a professor, because of how just that book, you know what I'm saying? Just because of how visceral the reaction I had to that book. Because I was like, this guy, he knows how to write a book. Okay, so anyway, this is another book by the same author. It has to do with, I think, a teen with an anger issue. Angry young man. It has to do with, like, he has some type of anger management issue or something that may be going on, and his brother, I think, is, like, wondering whether to step in. So, yes, that is why I picked up this. I'm just like, wow. I feel like that was a long speech. Okay. This is What You Left Behind by Samantha Hayes. Now, this one originally caught my attention because I thought it was a different book. There's another book called What You Left Behind, which is about a single father, teenage single father who's raising his baby daughter, I think, after her mother died or something. That's not this book. So that was one I was on the fence about. But then I picked up this one and I was like, oh, well, why not? This is a thriller. Has to do, trigger warning again. I'm sorry. It has to do with a town where there are a lot of suicides. And a detective comes in to try and see if they're like not all at once, but they're like in a, around the same time. And this detective comes in to try and figure out if they're actually murderers. So, yeah. This one, again, not so much social justice. I just picked it up for the like dark aspect. This one is After the Fall by Kate Hart. I have seen mixed reviews about this book. Some of them made me hesitant to pick it up because it seemed like they were saying things like, when people say like, I didn't like this and this and this about the book, and then you get to figure out, is that something that I wouldn't like about the book? Some of it seemed like, I might not like this book. I just said bore. I meant to say but, and then I meant to say or. I might like it. We'll see. Something that I really like about this book is when it came out, the author, like, there was like a promotion, some kind of promotion where certain authors for like the day that this book came out were matching donations to RAINN, which is the Rape and Incest National Network. And I think that that's like really awesome. So that's just that they were like giving to charity for this book. So that's great. So this book has something to do with assault. I have a hard time following the synopsis of it. There's a girl, she's friends with this one guy, but then she's like in a relationship with his brother. But then I don't really know what part of the synopsis is supposed to be like the most important, maybe like the love triangle aspect of it. I don't know. But anyway, it does deal with sexual assault. So maybe that's a really important part. I don't really know, but it could be really good. So we'll see. Next we have this. This is Don't You Forget About Me by Kate Carrius Quinn. I can't remember what this is about actually. I believe it has to do it looks spooky, and I think it's a spooky kind of like dark fantasy kind of thing. And I think some characters die or something, which would be sad, but the title of it does remind me of that one song that I'm not going to sing because it would, but you know, and when you think of an 80s movie, that's not a bad thing, right? So that's cool. Then we have this book, Butterfly by Sonia Hartnett. I really don't know what this is about. I picked it up just because I saw it and it kind of looked interesting. And it's another short book. It is kind of cool to have books of varying lengths, especially when I want to be like, yeah, I finished a book fast. Yeah, or yeah, I finished a book, because it is a readathon and you want to finish a lot of books. So, but yeah, this one, it looks kind of short. The cover is pretty. There's a butterfly and a window and, yeah, I don't know. It just looks like something I might like to read. And the back says that it's a dreamy, lyrical, sad novel. And I was like, well, okay. Keeping with the theme, it's a sad novel, so hey. The next two I don't think are sad, but they I don't know actually, but they are by authors of color, and they do, I think, have to do with the experiences of people of color. So this one is The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. I did mention this in my TBR. This one, I'm using this, I think, for the challenge of reading a banned book. And I can't remember what this is about either. I read the synopsis of it a while ago. I think it has to do with friendship. And I don't know exactly the details, but I have heard I've heard very good things about it. So I am excited to read it. This may have to do with social justice, actually. I don't know why I said, it's not dark and it doesn't do social. I don't know what it's about, for real. I don't quite remember. I think it has to do with war. So it might have to do with social justice. Anyway, the point is, yes, this definitely is one that I'm excited to read. And lastly, from the library, we have Persepolis 2 by Marjani Satrapi. Now, I had the book Persepolis by Marjani Satrapi on my, that may not be the way it's pronounced. It might be Marjane Satrapi. I'm very sorry if I am mispronouncing her name. Oh, and I'm covering the face. I had this I had the first one, Persepolis, on my list for one of the possible banned books. I think I just glanced at this too quickly and thought it was Persepolis and grabbed it. And then later on realized, oh, this is Persepolis 2. So I don't even know if this is banned or anything. I might just read it for the side challenge. There are side challenges, which anyone can participate in, of reading a graphic novel, because this is a graphic novel. I might just read it for that side challenge. I might just read it because I feel like reading it. I don't know. Put it on the free square. There's like a free square. We'll see. I don't know. But yes, that is all of my books. Sorry, I didn't really talk about what this is about. I think the first book of this was about growing up in... Where did she grow up? Oh, in Iran. It says growing up in Iran during the Islamic Revolution I think that was describing the first book. And so this one maybe is about her later experiences. I don't know. It just sounds like really good. And yeah. So there we have all of the books I have from the library. Again, I am currently reading Allegedly, and I'm still reading and trying to finish the one that I was reading that I forgot what it was called. Oh, We Own the Night by Ashley Poston. So that's good. Now I have like kind of my lighter read and my heavier read to do at the same time. And yeah, allegedly is so good so far. I can't be 100% certain of the order in which I will read these books, but because I need to fulfill my last 3 rogue challenges. So with We Own the Night and with allegedly, I have my one word title. I have my one word title, and I have my book with less than 500 ratings on Goodreads. So I need 3 more challenges, which are banned book, book with an obscured face, and something. Banned book, book with an obscured face. Oh, and book by a small press. So for the small press, I showed you the one that I showed you already is going to be this one, Sunset Empire. So that one I'm going to have to try and complete before I go to another path. The banned book, again, is probably going to be this, because this is the one that I know for sure is banned. I'm not sure if Persepolis 2 is banned or not. So most likely my banned book is going to be the Kite Runner. And allegedly, I think I'm going to put allegedly down as my one word title, and I'm going to use what was the one, The Boy in the Black Suit, as my obscured face book. Either that, or I will switch it around, change allegedly to my obscured face book, and then use one of the one word title books as my one word title book. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know if any of these books look like something that you would like to read, or just if you have any thoughts about this. What are you reading this week? Just, hey, let me know anything that you want to let me know in the comments. And again, I really do appreciate you guys watching this video. Bye.